even though it's almost the end of November, we've had a couple of really warm days, so I think this is my last chance to clean up my car and give it some protection before the real winter starts here in London, Ontario. So I just pressure washed it at the coin wash. I did a quick iron removal on the outside and a touchless wash, and now I've brought it home where I'm going to give it another bucket wash before I put Turtle Wax Hybrid Ceramic on it to give it some protection for the winter. Hopefully this will be about 3 to 4 months of protection, and then later on I'll update you guys on how well it did and if it survived. So today we'll be coating that black Mazda 6 with Turtle Wax Hybrid Ceramic. Stick around, leave a like and subscribe. This is Baseline Flash. Starting off with our before shots, you can definitely tell this car needs a clean. There's an obvious layer of road grime and dirt stuck onto the paint. This is a perfect example of a car that shows every little bit of the details. This ebony black Mazda 6, obviously the black paint underneath is super shiny, so we have to work on restoring all of that. On to step 1, I took my car over to the local coin-op car wash. Here I have a pump sprayer filled with iron remover and Meguiar's Gold Class. There's about 2 liters of this mixture, warm water and my mixture. And I use this instead of the coin-op car wash just because I had it on hand. If you'd like to use the coin-op's chemicals, go right ahead. I'm doing a pre-rinse here, getting all along my car's paintwork. I'm focusing along the lower portions just because that's where all the bugs and tar and iron will build up as you're driving. So I work that in and then go around, let it foam up a bit, let it dwell for a couple minutes before we move on to our rinse. As you can see, I'm opening up every door and I'm going around the trunk and around the door sills and around the door jambs, where places where people don't really think about, but all the dirt will still hide in there and build up over time, so we want to get ready for that. Here I insert a couple coins and quickly go around my car just using a high pressure rinse. I'm not using any other items from the car wash or any chemicals or anything like that. Quickly going over, make sure you soak down and blast panel by panel. I usually start from the top and work my way down. As you can see here, it's super satisfying blasting away all this foam. You can see that road grime and that obvious layer that was on there is just easily washing away thanks to this high pressure rinse. Don't forget to go in there in the door jambs and wash away all the salt, dirt, and mud that might be in there. You don't really even have to spray the trigger. Just using the lightest setting on this pressure washer and moving quickly can ensure that you don't get any inside the doors and inside your actual cabin, just down there on the plastic and the paintwork. I do spend a little bit of time on the wheels and on the lower portions of the doors and near the wheel wells. That's where things like to collect. Remember your lower bumpers and pay a little bit more attention to inside where your license plate is, because dirt and dust like to collect up there. As you can see, we brought the shine back. Obviously it is a very wet surface, so after it dries we'll do an inspection and see what really came off this car. you can see in this after video, bringing it home from the car wash, letting it air dry a little bit, we can see that there's a very big improvement, but along the bottom edges there is still some grime left, a little layer. And there's also one surprising spot on the top of my back door. Something seems to have stuck on there. So this is the perfect example of why we move on to step 2, a contact wash with a microfiber mitt and a 1-bucket method. The touchless wash really did help, but it didn't get everything, and this is why we go in to do the details. I have a bucket here with warm water and Meguiar's Gold class. I have a very nice soft microfiber mitt. And moving on here, you can see a special low pressure attachment for my garden hose. There's a couple different nozzles. There's the Hybrid Solutions ceramic wax, and then there's the white bottle filled with Chemical Guys VPR to restore my trim and my rubbers. And then I refilled my pump sprayer with a little bit more Meguiar's and some warm water. I also have 2 microfiber towels and a red drying microfiber towel for after later on. Then you can set up your hose and your water and get to work. I don't use a foam cannon this time. I just have my bucket and my wash mitt, and then a regular nozzle for my garden hose. As you can see here, I'm using the excess water from the mitt to lay it on the paintwork and then go in with my contact wash. Putting light pressure on the paintwork, making sure that it's very foamy, very lubed up, and moving quickly and decisively along here. We are working in the sun. It's not a super warm day, but it is a black paint car, so it warms up really quickly. I am working in segments, once again starting from the top down. I usually do 1 or 2 panels, so something like just the top and then the hood, or just a piece of glass and then one of the doors, and then I rinse it off and move on to a different segment. This will allow us to focus and make sure one spot is clean, and also to keep everything wet and make sure it doesn't dry out in the sun. Because we already did our touchless wash earlier, I don't really need a high pressure rinse at this point, so I can use my regular garden hose to just gently wash off after we've done our agitation with the microfiber mitt. Meguiar's Gold class does leave a little bit of protection behind, but I've honestly found that it doesn't really interfere with applying our ceramic coating. once we've followed up with a full rinse on the entirety of the car, making sure no product is left over, I will do a quick microfiber dry, just gently crossing it on the paint. It is a very windy day, so I had to, work around the weather, but that's life as a mobile detailer and as a weekend warrior. You make the best with what you've got. Once it's thoroughly dry with our microfiber, we can let it air dry for a little bit and then move on to our ceramic coating. After step 2, you can see an even greater difference. The Meguiar's Gold Class adds a little bit of shine, but running my fingers over it, that layer of grime that we saw earlier is gone. The contact wash really did help. Now it's just a matter of waiting for it to dry and applying our hybrid ceramic spray coating wax. So, as you guys just saw, I did a quick 1 bucket wash, and I got rid of whatever was left after the touchless wash. Now I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes to air dry any little cracks and crevices that I missed with my microfiber drying towel, and I'll go in with the Turtle Wax Hybrid Ceramic. And when you apply this, you put just a couple sprays onto a panel, give it a wipe down, buff it in, and then use a separate clean microfiber to wipe away any excess and leave a nice streak-free shine and protection. So I'll show you guys how to do that in just a little bit. This is Baseline Fresh. The car is now all dry. It's been air drying out in the sunlight for a little bit. And over here I have my Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions ceramic coating. And I also have Chemical Guy's VPR rubber protectant that I've mixed 50-50 with some warm water. So I'm going to go around the trim, bring back all my trim on the outside with this, and clean it off a little bit, bring back some of the darkness to the plastics and the rubbers, and offer some protection. And then I'm going to ceramic coat everything with this spray ceramic wax. And it's going to keep my ride cleaner, and it'll look a little bit shinier and glossier, but the main thing is it'll protect so that the road grime and the slush and the salt from the wintertime is not going to be sticking to my car paint and my car clear coat. I have a bunch of clean, very soft microfibers in my front pocket, and if I need to, I'll switch between them really quickly and really easily and try to keep them from touching the ground. I really wanted to highlight the weekend warrior experience. You're not going to be able to do everything perfectly right, but this is the best case scenario for a quick ceramic coating, and you'll see the great results that we get. Here I'm just quickly applying Chemical Guy's VPR to my tires, and then I also go around to all the rubber trim, all the plastic bits on my car. This is a really great product. You can see here I have my own spray bottle. I've diluted it 50-50. It's great because it does UV protection and it brings back a little bit of gloss to the rubber, but it dries really nicely. It doesn't get slick when it gets wet again, so it is safe to use on people's floor mats and interior rubber, as well as the tires and the exterior stuff. So it's a great product. I just have a simple cloth and I'm working it into the tire after spraying it on. You can buff it back out if you'd like, but I find that for rubber tires I like to let it soak in just for extra protection. Then I go around all my door seals and rubber around the glass, and any trim pieces like in my front grille here along, and even on the outside of this license plate holder. Moving on to step 3, where we apply our hybrid ceramic wax. I love turtle wax because it's such an easy application process. Usually it's just a spray coating, 2 sprays on a panel, and then you wipe it in, and then using a separate clean cloth, you buff it back out, make sure it dries down nice and without any streaks or speckles. As you can tell from my video clips, it was a very windy day, so as you can see here, I wasn't really spraying it on. I would spray it into my cloth, or I would just drip it directly onto the car paint and work it in that way. But very, very easy to use. Because it was drying quickly on this windy day, I had to act quickly and buff it in, but usually you can let it stay on there for a couple of seconds before you work it in and make sure the coating bonds to the paint. Working around the car here, moving very quickly but paying attention to all the little details. I usually like to wrap my fingers around the microfiber and make sure you're getting every little edge, and then just buffing out quickly. I really like this product because it's safe on trim, it's safe on the chrome and the rubber and the plastic, and I spend a little extra time buffing it into my headlights and taillights because it really does help with the water beading and keeping them clean so mud doesn't stick on them and snow doesn't stick on them and stuff like that. The more towels you use, the better in this case, because you want everything to be as clean as possible. You can see I'm switching to different sides of my towels very often, and as I went through it, I was using way more than the 2 towels I originally brought in. I think I ended up using like 5 or 6 towels at the end here. Because it was a windy day, some of it did streak and there were some speckles and some overspray, so I quickly went back over it with a damp towel and just a tiny bit of O&R, and then I quickly went back and buffed it out, and it worked. And the reason why it worked is I acted quickly, I didn't let it set in for too long, and also all of these products, the VPR, the O&R, and hybrid ceramic, they're all water-based, so they work really well and they can be diluted. If we get really close in here, you can see there is, scratching and marring. I had a football hit the hood of my car when I was playing football with my friends. Rock chips and stone chips that just happen when you're driving behind trucks and trailers. I have overspray from some kind of paint that dropped on there. So the paint on this car is not perfect. It's a 10-year-old car, but any protection right now is what I can, anything that I can get, I'll take. So, gotta make some kind of effort and keep it nice. So now I'm going to pull my car into my garage and let the ceramic wax cure for as long as possible. It has been 2 days since we ceramic coated this Mazda 6 with Turtle Wax hybrid ceramics. So today is Monday. We coated it on the Saturday afternoon and I let it sit in my garage and cure. So today I went to work. So this is after my daily drive. You can see there is road grime and stuff back on the car. So of course it's not gonna look amazing and it's not gonna keep pristine and fresh if you're daily driving it around, but that's okay because the ceramic coating will actually allow all of this stuff to come off easier the next time we wash the car. So now that it's done a full cure, I'm going to show you guys the water beading and the protective properties that this has on it, and I'll show you just how easily all the grime and stuff that has built up will be washed off. So here we go. So we've got really great beading on the sides. You can see it's, instead of coming down as one sheet, the droplets of water are separating. It's very slick, so they're falling down off the edge of the car. It looks great. And you can see how it can actually help drying on its own because the water is not sticking into one spot too much and it's not staying attracted to that metal. So that was just a really quick demo of what we've done and how well it looks after it's cured for more than 12 hours. So there you have it, guys. That is how to quickly use a hybrid ceramic spray wax on your car. I didn't do my wheels because these are just my my winter rims. Unfortunately, if I had more time, I would protect them, but I don't have that much time. So as you can see, a little bit of gloss. If you liked what you saw, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. This has been Baseline Fresh.